I'm Marissa Blackwood, and if you're like me, you love vampire movies. I don't care what anyone has to say, don't come after me. And I personally cannot wait to see Renfield, starring Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult. Oh my god, that trailer was hysterical. Speaking of vampires, you may have seen the 2009 film Countess, or even Bram Stoker's Dracula, to which some people insist she may have been the inspiration. For today, dear friends, we'll be discussing the Blood Countess, or Countess Dracula, depending on who you ask, Elizabeth Bathory. Listener's discretion is advised. If you're a fan of horror movies or true crime, or perhaps both like myself, don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to check us out on YouTube at All Things Murder. New episodes on Thursdays. Elizabeth Bathory was born on August 7th, 1560, in Hungary. And like the Targaryens, her parents were blood relatives that decided to make a child to keep the bloodlines pure. Guys, incest is gross. It won't keep your bloodlines pure, it'll ruin them. Raised in a noble family, Elizabeth knew a life of privilege from an early age. As a child, she had multiple seizures that may have been caused by epilepsy. Now, the treatment at the time included rubbing blood of a non-sufferer on her lips to help the seizures go away. I think we can all agree modern medicine has come very far. At the age of 11, she became engaged to Count Frederick Nadesty. Now, before the two were married, Elizabeth allegedly gave birth to a child, and the father was not her future husband's, oh no, but a peasant boy. The scandal. Obviously, such a scandal would ruin the family name, so the child was given to a local woman who was trusted by the Bathory family. The woman was paid for her actions and then raised the kid as her own. Like, you wouldn't mind keeping this hush-hush, would you, Muriel? Seriously, don't tell people. On May 8th, 1575, when Elizabeth was 15 years old, she married Frederick, and as a wedding gift, he gifted her his family castle. Gentlemen, if you are listening, my boyfriend included, family castle. Times are tough, but step it up, gents. Step it up. As her husband was a soldier who often was out fighting Ottoman Turks, the couple spent most of their marriage apart. However, he may have schooled her in the techniques of torture when they were together. What a great husband and bonding moment. Yeah, babe, no, you gotta twist it like this. Oh, okay. At first, all appeared to have been well under Elizabeth's leadership, but as time went on, rumors that Elizabeth tortured her servants began to spread. After Frederick died in January of 1604, Elizabeth took control of the extensive estates. She would soon be accused of not only torturing, but killing hundreds of girls and women who entered her castle. According to witnesses, Elizabeth's crime took place between 1590 and 1610, with most of the vicious murders happening after her husband's death in 1604. She's like, oh, he's gone. Cool, we can do more torture now. Like, no. Her first targets were said to have been poor girls and young women who were lured to the castle with the promise of servant work. But as the story goes, she did not stop there. She got bored and needed a challenge. She allegedly expanded her sights and began killing daughters of noblemen who were sent to the castle for their education. Like, I'm gonna learn how to curtsy, I'm gonna learn how to fold a table. No, I got murdered. She also supposedly kidnapped local girls in the area who would have never come to that castle on their own free will. Elizabeth Bathory's castle? Hell no, I'm not going there. They kidnapped me. According to reports, Elizabeth tortured her victims in unspeakable ways. She allegedly burned her victims with hot irons, beat them to death with clubs, stuck needles under their fingers, poured ice water over their bodies, and then left them to freeze outside in the cold, covered them in honey so bugs would feast on their skin, sewed their lips together. She even bit off chunks of flesh from their breasts and faces. Witnesses claimed that Elizabeth's favorite method of torture was using scissors to mutilate her victims' bodies and faces. She supposedly used the instrument to cut off hands, noses, and even genitals. She sometimes even used scissors to slice open the skin between her victims' fingers. Now, ladies, I know we don't like being called crazy, but I think we can all agree Elizabeth Bathory was batshit crazy. The most infamous accusation, the one that inspired her nickname, the Blood Countess, claimed that Elizabeth Bathory bathed in the blood of her young victims, an attempt to maintain a youthful appearance, to be young, beautiful. I'm gonna say that did not work out. On December 29th, 1610, Count Grigory Thurzo, who oversaw judicial matters, began to investigate the Countess's alleged crimes against women of noble birth. Like, hey, we are hearing some rumors that you are murdering people and then bathing in their blood. Please tell me that's not true. He reportedly surprised Elizabeth in the middle of torturing a victim. Oh, snap, sorry, I'll come back. And in response, immediately imprisoned her in her home. 4 of Elizabeth's servants were then arrested, questioned, and subject to torture. Their court proceedings began early in January of 1611. These servants denied committing any murders, but did admit to burying multiple victims by order from their mistress. Hey man, she was gonna kill me if I didn't bury the bodies. Her accomplices were then sentenced to death, one of whom had worked as a wet nurse for the Countess's children, was convicted of witchcraft and then burned at the stake. I mean, you gotta feel bad for these servants. Like, it was a lose-lose situation from the get-go. I mean, if I don't do it, she's gonna kill me. I did do it. I still died. It's a lose-lose situation here. That's what happens when you work for a crazy woman. You never win. After these accusations, Thurzo continued to investigate the Countess. One witness said that Elizabeth herself had listed 650 victims in her personal journal, and the evidence he gathered also included almost 300 witness statements. I'm gonna say it's not looking too good for Elizabeth right now. But remember, Elizabeth is a noble woman. I mean, chick has a castle. Come on. As a member of a powerful family, she was not put on trial. Oh no. Instead, she was bricked up and isolated in her room, where she remained on house arrest until her death on August 21st, 1614, when she was 51 years old. Much like rich criminals now, they do not get hard time. They get house arrest, or like the nice prisons, unfortunately. Elizabeth Bathory has been labeled by the Guinness World Records as the most prolific female serial killer, though there was never a clear answer as to how many victims the Blood Countess murdered. I mean, 650 in your journal, and that's a lot. That's a lot of people. And that, my friends, is the story of the Blood Countess, Elizabeth Bathory. Don't forget to see Renfield in theaters coming out April 14th. I will be doing a movie review on YouTube. So pumped for this movie. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm Marissa Blackwood, and don't forget to tune in next week for a new All Things Murder, if you dare.